Thought I would have learned by now, huh? How you guys doing tonight? Happy Friday to everyone. Welcome to CaneRod Pipe Conversations with Pipe Smokers. It's great to see you all. I'm trying to, that's gonna have to sit for a while. I made myself a beer slushy unintentionally. It wasn't, oh no, it's foaming up. It wasn't cold, so I put it in the freezer, and then I forgot that it was in the freezer, and it got too cold, and yeah, you know how it goes. Anyway, I've got quite a mess on my hands here. Fortunately, I'm not driving because I'm going to smell like beer. So how is everyone doing tonight? Let's see, we got Paragon Piper, Big Dave, Tony 513, JMZ, Full Dottle, CJP Pipe Rescue, Jimmy Tabaki, Boris the Piper, Everett Young, Takio Kimura, Kirk Maxon. I saw Todd A., who's my my usual first guy to arrive. Great to see all you guys tonight. Casey Hooligan, West Virginia Grizzly, Ron H. Fantastic. Already got a nice crowd, and we're just starting. That is fantastic. There's Todd A. Yeah, that's true. At least I know the beer's going to be nice and cold, but I got to let it thaw a bit. Dryfly Fisher 11, hello. And Rob Boston. WKR Piper in Cincinnati. Good to see you, buddy. Smoking Cardboard. Good to see you again. So, got a great guest on tonight. I'm really excited that we're going to be talking to Ghost Cobb in a little bit. And while I'm waiting for my beer to thaw and to stop making a mess, I'm going to load up an olive wood pipe. I know Ghost Cobb is a big fan of olive wood pipes. I am a fan of olive wood pipes as well. This is one of our friend Olive Wood Piper's creations. There's something about burley in an olive wood pipe. It's kind of like burley in a cob. There's something about those two that just kind of goes together. Let's see. Jeffers 58, hello there. Piper on the 45. Armchair Piper. How's it going, Ed? Smooth Piper. Hello there, Peter. Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, it's a big ball, but it's actually kind of, it's a nice heat sink around it. Let's just say that. Ghost Cobb, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you, Sean. Looking forward to chatting in a little bit. And Curmudgeon Piper, hello there. Scotty Dashboard. Kilted Piper Steve. Oh yeah, that's right. I Kilted Piper Steve is getting a couple of olive woods. Hope they treat you well there, Steve. Thank you, Boris. Yeah, I like it quite a bit. Meerschaum Mountaineer, hello there, my friend. And Fragrant Offering Piper, good to see you, buddy. Yeah, it is a nice crowd already, Ron. Obviously, that's Ghost Cobb's fault, not mine. Robert Creel, hello there, my friend. If you tuned in late, I'm having beer issues. I've made a, this is terrible. Oh, geez, there we go. I broke the ice jam. I made a beer slushy unintentionally, and, oh well. That's a shame. I was actually looking forward to this. Yeah. It's a yard spruce ale. Microwave. I don't think so, Tony. No, Takio, I think other countries refrigerate the beer. They just have it at a different temperature. Padre Piper, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Yeah, that's nothing ruins a beer more than freezing it. But it's my fault. I forgot to put it in the fridge earlier. Tried to chill it down quickly and then forgot that I put it in the freezer. So life goes on. Yeah, I think the Dairy Queens around here are starting to sell the beer slushies. I mean, once you have takeout drinks, takeout cocktails, which is one of the gifts of COVID-19, restaurants that you would only be able to sit in and drink are now having takeout cocktails, which you get in these little plastic containers with lids on them. Very strange. Cali Piper 62. Hey, Steve. Thanks for stopping in to say hello. I saw your post on Instagram and appreciate you doing that. And I'm glad you're back to work. Hope all's going well. Yeah, beer slushies do go flat awfully quick, Steve. Smoking cardboard's drinking some Three Floyd's Gumball Head. There you go. Head looks like 1970s Lake Erie foam. Cliff Higgins, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Hey, Everett, I've heard of people doing that, putting the beer in the basement, but my basement is so darn hot, it would have the opposite effect. Yeah, it's surprisingly warm down here because of the furnace. Yep, to-go margaritas, absolutely. We had them for my wife's birthday. We actually got Mexican takeout from her favorite Mexican restaurant, and we got to-go margaritas with it. Yeah, Takio, they do have them in New Orleans. I know Padre Piper can comment on the drive-through frozen drinks. Are they still a thing down there? Voodoo 07, good to see you. So our guest tonight is Ghost Cobb. We're going to wait until about quarter after the hour just to give folks time to get in here and make sure that we got a nice crowd for Sean. Big Dave, good to see you. The AC unit has been fixed. It was a minor repair, thank goodness, and yeah, it's running fine now. Canals prevented the drunk driving. Cold duck floats. Burley Nut Bob, how you doing, my friend? Yeah, it is nice to be cool again, although it's still surprisingly hot down here. It was a cool day today too, which was nice. We had a lot of rain this evening and some pretty bad thunderstorms moving through. I think we're done with them. No drinker, I haven't been officering. You had hot weather there, Everett? Yeah, we're heading back up pretty quickly. We just got a little break today. Many of you guys had this Yards. It's Poor Richard's Spruce Ale. So I don't want to drip it all over my keyboard because it's sitting in a pool of the eruption off the top. It's nice. I've had spruce beers before, which are more like a root beer, like a soda pop sort of thing. But this is. I've had a few of these. It's got that spruce flavor to it, but it's a real beer. So it's actually got a little bit of a pine note to it. Very interesting. Hot Wings 326. How you doing, John? Clarence Wood, good to see you. Andrew Ciliano, good to see you, my friend. And Signal Man Tony. I think I missed you earlier, buddy. Really, Andrew, no power still. We were fine here, but people not very far away from here got got trees through their roofs, so we got lucky. Muscadine wine, that's nice stuff, Steve. Yardism, hello there, Chad. Good to see you, buddy. And Thaggerate Cornholio, drinking some Miller Lite. A fine choice, my friend. The One Simplex One, hello there, buddy. Curmudgeon Piper, no storm issues at all, huh? It was pretty coastal. But surprisingly, I don't think we were expecting it to be as bad as it was. I went to my doctor's I went to a doctor's appointment yesterday, and he showed me this video he shot on his phone from his waiting room. So the waiting room looks down on the parking lot, and his car, he drives a little Audi TT. The darn thing was up to the bottom of the window was water, and you could see the water like swirling around the car. And the funny thing is, it apparently has automatic wipers that turned on. I don't know if there was a short caused by the water or what, but it's sitting there almost completely submerged with the wipers going. And there was nothing he could do about it. He just had to sit there and watch. Yeah, Jimmy, it was a dud in Florida. It saved it up for us. Thank you for passing it along, my friend. Bearded Welshman, how you doing, buddy? Got a good contingent turning out from Pennsylvania today, which is a good thing. Good to hear. Good to hear, John. Boy, that's really flat. Don't freeze your beer, kids. All right, folks. Well, wow, we got 71 already out there, which is fantastic. Great turnout for our buddy Ghost Cobb. So I'm gonna get him on the line in just a minute. Like I said earlier, I was really pleased when Sean agreed that he would join us for one of these chats. You almost certainly have come across his YouTube channel. If you haven't, I neglected to put anything in the comments, in the description rather, but I will after this is done. Put some notes down in the description, and I'll include a link to Ghost Cobb's, both his Instagram account and his YouTube channel. He's one of the most friendly, welcoming guys that I know on YouTube, and that's saying a lot because most guys are friendly and welcoming. But he's kind of at the top of that pack. And you probably know him from his Find Five Friday series, and I'm sure we're going to be talking about that a bit. So anyway, I was very glad that we could get him to join us, and I'm going to go ahead and give him a call.
Hello.
Hello, Sean. How are you tonight?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
Fantastic. Great to hear you. Just want to make sure could just say hello again, just to see if I got the audio right here.
Hello. How are you all doing tonight?
That sounds good to me, guys. Let me know if you're hearing that okay. So how's your weather in your part of the state tonight? Did you have any of these storms that passed through?
Yeah, we got some. We had a pretty good storm come through here. It didn't last very long, but it came through here and put down some rain, a little bit of thunder, but that was about it.
No, that's not bad. Yeah, I think the problem is we're so saturated from the last storm that came through that even a little bit of rain is causing flash flooding around here. So it's been a mess. But, and just for the folks watching, you're in Central PA. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay.
Gettysburg, Pennsylvania.
Gettysburg, fantastic. Home of one of the best parks that you can go to if you're a history buff.
That's correct.
So I know you were in the chat there, so you probably heard the little introduction that I gave, but I really like for the folks that we have on the conversation with pipe smokers to take a little bit of time and just introduce themselves. Tell us a bit about yourself and whatever you'd like us to know.
Okay. Is there like a time limit or?
Yeah.
How does this work?
7.5 minutes. No.
7.5 minutes.
Yeah, just we're just chatting. However long it takes. I'll interrupt you if it goes too long.
Well, my name is Sean, obviously. For those of you that do not know that, I was born here in Pennsylvania. My birthday is next week.
Wow.
So, my birthday is August the 16th. Let's see. I came from 2 farm families.
Did you say farm?
My mom is.
I'm sorry, Sean.
2 farm families.
Farm families. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, farm families. My dad is from Boiling Springs area, and my mom is from outside of Pittsburgh, near Johnstown area.
Okay.
My daddy died when I was 8. Let's see. When I was 8, my dad died. When I was about 9, they started to notice that I was different. And what I mean by different is, I was having, I walked differently than others. I kind of ran odd sometimes, and they were trying to figure out what was wrong, and then I started to complain about a lot of issues with my legs. And so the doctor visit started, and I ended up going as far as specialist in Delaware, the whole way back here to John Hopkins. And when I ended up at John Hopkins, the doctor came in, looked at my x-rays, had me get up on the table, do some things, and he was like, "Son, you have legs, calf, Perthes disease."
Oh.
Now, I'll repeat that again. Legs, calf, as in like a baby calf, Perthes disease. And what that is it's a very rare disease that is found dominantly in boys, and it is mostly found between the ages of 7 and 10 years old is when they usually find it. So, of course, then, after we got it figured out what it was, because that took about 2 years to figure out, between going to this doctor, then to this doctor, and then, everything else, they decided to start treating me, and one way they were treating me was, for a while I had to wear a brace that looked like two braces on my thighs, and then I had a bar in between my thighs, and then also at nighttime I had to sleep with my legs in traction.
Oh, boy.
So that was a good part of my childhood, and from time to time when I had a lot of issues, they would put me on crutches for a couple of weeks or a month. I was doing therapy 2 or 3 times a week, and it just went on. And then I grew up, and I had kind of a normal life. I got to play baseball as a child, and I played baseball up to high school, and then in the early 90s, I was invited to try out for the Colorado Rockies AA baseball team. The organization was starting. It was when they first were getting started, and they were looking for some talent for AA, and I was not talented, so I got cut. But
hey, just
I
getting
did get
invited.
to do that.
Just getting invited is
get
quite an
an invite.
accomplishment. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you. I was very, excited to be invited, but I was invited to try out as a catcher, so I did that. Now, my daddy came from a very large family. My dad was one of 16 children. My grandmother and grandfather had 14 boys and 2 girls,
Wow.
1 set of twins, and amongst that, at one point, we had 12 people serving our country at one time, which is the second largest to date. I believe there's one other family that beat us, I believe, had 13. And then, of course, the Ryan rule came in, and that changed everything. But I wanted to follow the footsteps of that. However, with my disease, they would not allow me to join. So that was scratched. So then I decided I was going to be a fireman. Well, then it came time to get ready to go do that for a living, and that wasn't going to happen either. So I ended up becoming a volunteer when I was 15, and I volunteered actively running fire calls for 25 years. So.
Right. That's fantastic.
So of course, my family is very patriotic. Most of my family has always worn an American flag on their uniform, and the flag means a lot to us. And of course, that kind of just lets you know, without getting into it, where I stand on some of this craziness that's going on. Just in case that question comes up later,
Sure.
because a lot of people want to know where you stand. I believe that, Martin Luther King set a great example when he said that you can protest without, causing grief. And I just think that there are better ways of doing it than kneeling for the anthem. But, I get it. That's what they choose to do. So, they have the right to do it just as I have a right to not like it. So, that is that. But my grandfather did not serve on my daddy's side. So I guess we made up for it with all of his kids. So I'm sure that was made up for
Yeah,
in that standpoint.
if there's a family quota, you certainly got it.
Yeah. My grandfather on my mom's side served in the Army, I do believe in WW2 he was in.
Okay.
So, but we still own both farms. Now, the other farm on my dad's side is pretty much now been all transferred into grass and lots and stuff like that. Where my mom's side, it's still a farm, but it's just not actively being used. We use it to make sure that the wildlife has, place to go. We got a lot of buck and doe running around up there. We've had a couple families of turkey up there every year, and we also had a mama bear who had 2 cubs last year up there on our property.
Wow, that's amazing.
So, yeah. I apologize if you hear me take a break. I'm smoking an Alec Bradley Prensado tonight. One of my favorite cigars. And, of course, I'm having some Evan Williams bourbon tonight with it. So
sounds like a good combination.
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. So I had my first operation. My hip was replaced when I was like 27. I want to say my hip and my thigh was replaced.
Okay.
So I have a metal rod that goes from my hip to all but my knee on my right side. And then I have an artificial hip. And that was done in '02. And then I've had each knee scoped a handful of times. And then both knees were replaced. So from 2002 to 2015, I had 12 surgeries on my legs from my disease.
Wow. See, you've been through some challenges.
Yeah, I've certainly had my share of challenges, absolutely. But, I'm still getting around. I do have to be in a wheelchair for long distance walking and stuff if we go to the store, or if, we're just out and about going somewhere. I kind of have to be in a wheelchair to enjoy it. But other than that, I use a walker to get around. I do take a lot of medication throughout the day. From the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep, I'm taking pills, so many hours apart to be able to keep me from being 100% wheelchair bound.
Right. So, Sean, if you don't mind me interrupting you, there's something I'd like to ask you about that. You're
Sure.
describing a lot of challenges, and it's amazing that someone can rise to those the way you have. And I know some other people that have had similar challenges in their life, and you fall into the same category as them. You are one of the most positive people that I know on YouTube. You're very, very positive, very uplifting. Even when you were talking about politics, which I tried to ignore a little bit earlier, you took a very positive approach to it. It was very reasoned and fair to both sides of the argument. So what do you attribute that to?
Well, I think I attribute it to the way I was brought up. You know, when my daddy died when I was 8, my uncles, I remember my one uncle coming over to me and saying, Sean, you're the man of the house now. You're responsible for taking care of your mom and your sister, you know, and you know what you have to do. We're here to lean on, but don't lean on us too much because you need to be the man of the house. And I think a lot of it came from just watching them and, you know, seeing how they carry themselves and how, you know, I was always told, if I was told it once, Mike, I was told it 1,000 times. We didn't give you much, but we gave you our name. Don't run it through the dirt.
Wow.
And that stuck with me. And also another thing that was told to me, and I pounded it into my daughter as well, is respect is something you earn, not something you're given. And that sticks with me. And if, you know, you have to treat everybody from the moment you meet them with the utmost respect until they lose it. You know, it's kind of like going into court. You're innocent until proven guilty. So you're deserving of the full amount of my respect until you lose it. And that's just the way you have to be. And you have to treat others on how you want to be treated. You know, you can't treat somebody like they're beneath you and then expect them to treat you fairly, because that's just not right. So, you know, you really have to treat people like that. And, you know, it's kind of funny, Mike, you said that, because it just popped into my head. I had somebody ask me about a month ago, they said to me, they say, Sean, why are you such a hugger? Why is it you have to hug people when you meet them? And I explained to them, I chuckled too. I chuckled and I said, well, I said, you know, I was brought up that you let people know how you feel about them, because tomorrow's not promised. And, you know, I want people to know that I care about them if I care about them. And it's something that's very important to me, because just because you're here today doesn't mean you're going to be here tomorrow, you know, especially if it's somebody that you don't get to see every day. You know, you have to just make sure that you let them know how much they mean to you, because when they're gone, there's no more opportunity to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of wisdom in that. And honestly, these days, I wish more people had the outlook that you have, because it's sorely needed in these times. You know, we need more positivity.
I appreciate that. And I agree. I do certainly agree with you. And, you know, a lot of these younger generations as are coming up, they're just not being brought up with the same values, or they're just not, they kind of forget them, because, you know, you can only teach them so much. And then when they get to a certain age, you got to let them free. So you just got to hope with what you taught them stuck, and they become the you know, person in the community that you want them to be. And I tried to do everything I could for my community, because of not having the opportunity to serve my country for the military. And that's always bothered me, because that was something that I've always wanted to do.
Yeah, well, that's inspirational. And, you know, the thing that strikes me, and again, I don't want to get too deep into this stuff, because, you know, we kind of treat this Friday evening thing as a way to get away from all the nonsense in the world. But you know, you mentioned the young people and you know, not being raised with those kinds of values. And the truth is, we have to look at them and give them the opportunity to learn. And that's hard sometimes. You know, it's hard when you see them rejecting your values. But they're just as smart as I was when I was at the age of learning what the right values were. And they need to be given the opportunity to learn that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've always told them, one person one day, we were having a debate over, I don't know, they got into it over Instagram or Facebook. And I said, I said to him, I wish we could meet somewhere, sit down with a glass of bourbon and a cigar and just talk.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, well, what's that mean? And it's like, because that's something that you both enjoy, and that's the time to sit down and for you to share with me what you're passionate about, and the same for me. And then hopefully we can walk away with a mutual respect for one another. We don't.
Uh-oh. Are you still there, Sean?
Agree, but I'm glad we could be friends.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And, you're bound to both learn something in that situation. I think that's important to keep in mind as well. But yeah, all good stuff. So, how about pipes? When do they come into your life, and how do they come into your life? Pipes and cigars.
Well, cigars came into my life in 2006. Yeah, around 2006, I guess I would say. I was going through my divorce, and when I didn't have my daughter, I was kind of like bored. I didn't have nothing to do. I was, if I wasn't at the firehouse, I was sitting at home, and I just, didn't really have anything to do. One day, this little old man who worked for me brought in this humidor and handed it to me, and he says, I think you need this. And I'm like, well, what makes you think I need that? Right. And then he opened it up and showed me what it was, and there were some cigars in it, and we went over some stuff, and that led to me going to a cigar shop, and of course I ended up, falling in love with it. And but that's how cigars came into my life. And it was nice because it gave me something to do later in the evening. I could sit out there, just enjoy a good cigar with a beer or a can of pop, and just, relax and enjoy that time. Mm-hmm. It kind of gives you time just to gather yourself and think about what's going on, in the day, and what's going on in your life in general. And then pipes came into my life in 2016. Okay. Against my will.
Oh.
Uncle Butter wanted me to go to Boswell's. Uh-huh. And I'm like, why? And he's like, I think you would enjoy smoking a pipe. And I'm like, well, I think you're crazy. And he says, well, I think you should try it. And I resisted him for about, a couple months. And then one day we were getting together, and he picked me up at the house, and he took me to Boswell's. So I bought a corncob pipe and a couple ounces of tobacco. And the tobacco I bought was Boswell's Sweet Dreams. It's an aromatic. And I bought it, and he took me through the crash course, and Danny Boswell came up and sat with us, and chit-chatted, and it took off. And then, of course, I was going through YouTube one night, and I found this younger feller smoking this olive wood pipe, and I thought, well, that's a pretty cool looking pipe. And of course, it was olive wood piper, and I was like, So I commented on it. I was like, so how do they smoke? Is it different? I mean, is it, because at that point I still really didn't know much about pipes, Right. And he was like, well, they smoke good, they smoke clean, they smoke, Burleys really well, they smoke some, Latakia real well if you want it to be a Latakia pipe, but they thrive, he feels, with Virginias and Burleys. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then he's like, do you have your address? I'd like to send you a couple things. And I'm like, sure. I didn't think he was going to send me a pipe. And then he sent me an olive wood poker, and that was the beginning of the relationship, in which now I hold him very near and dear to my heart. He is like a father to me, and today is Pops' birthday.
Oh, really? Okay. I
Yes,
didn't
it
realize
is.
that. Well, I feel even better then that I'm smoking one of his pipes right now.
So, Pops, if you're listening, happy birthday. I love you.
That is fantastic. Yeah, I mentioned at the beginning, we're talking about Carl Olivewood Piper, and this is a pipe made by Carl. He does really fantastic work at a very reasonable price.
He really does.
And the pipes smoke amazing. Yeah.
Indeed. I really enjoy his pipes. I really enjoy a good olive wood pipe. I think they smoke really well, and they are one of my favorites.
So do you have a? Well, let me just ask it about how many pipes do you have?
Oh,
Yeah, I know. I don't like to count either.
I really don't know how many I have.
Okay.
I know I have about 25 Cobbs.
Okay.
I know that I own one OMS, one Jad's pipes. I own one walnut that was made by Pops. I own a Maplewood that was made by Pops. And I own 6 Morta and 7 olive wood pipes that he made.
Wow.
So, and I have a couple others here and there. I have an ash pipe that was made for me by, I can't think of his name. He's in Sweden. Mindful Pipe.
Okay.
Johan, I think his name is. I have an ash pipe that he made for me as well. So I have a bunch. I probably have, I would adventure, I have a couple Morgan Bones pipes. So I would say I probably have about, counting Cobbs, I probably have about 50 pipes.
Not bad for someone that was dragged into the hobby.
Yeah, I know, right?
So another thing I'm curious about is the YouTube name Ghost Cobb. What's behind that? Was it just something you thought of, or is there a story behind it?
Well, there's a story to it. When I first started to smoke a pipe, I was told one piece of advice that I was given was to join a club on Facebook and try to, you can ask questions, you can, chime in on conversations, all of that good stuff. So I joined Corncob Nation, of course, and, excuse me, and I had this app. It's called Fused, Fused. It's a free app, and it allows you to take 2 pictures and put them together. So what I used to like to do is, I don't like pictures of myself. So what I like to do is, I used to like to take a picture of a scene and kind of put me in it very lightly, just so you can just see me but not really see me.
Sure.
And I would post them in that group. And there was a guy named Carl from South Carolina, and he says, "Oh, there's the ghost." And he would comment back and forth on my posts, and I would comment on his posts. And he said, "I noticed you're always smoking corn cobs." And I said, "Yeah." I said, "I'm just getting started, and that's all I have at the time. That's all I have." And he's like, "Oh, okay." And then I posted a couple pictures of me with my new Dagner cob. and he said, "There's Ghost Cobb, there's Ghost Cobb," and it just stuck. And then I started my YouTube, and I started it as Sean Safor. I started about a week or 2 weeks after Chad Yardism started, and it was nice because I could lean on Chad for knowledge, and Chad was a great sport about teaching a dumb rookie, a lot of things, because Chad's very wise. And I then asked Carl in that group if I could take that name and keep it. And he said, absolutely, I would be honored if you would keep the name that I gave you. And that's how Ghost Cobb was born.
Wow, that's a great
so
story.
To say.
That's fantastic. Yeah, that's really, really interesting, Sean. I always hesitate to ask that question because a lot of times, I mean, I know that the names that I've picked for social media things are often quite random or whatever happens to be in front of me at the time that I'm trying to think of a name. But it's great that
right.
you got a story behind it.
Mm-hmm.
So last thing I want to bring up before we turn to the chat room for some questions. Your Find Five Friday, really a great series. It's been a great service to the YouTube Pipe community and really helped build the community. What was behind that? What was your motivation there? And what are your thoughts on that whole thing?
Wow. Well, that was another unintentional, just dumb luck. I just got lucky and fell onto it. I used to like to shout out one or two people at the end of my videos. And one day, old Berg and I were talking, and Berg says, I really like how you shout people out. And I'm like, you like that? And he said, yeah. He said, I think that's a great idea, Sean. I said, well, what do you think I should do? He goes, I don't know. He goes, we need to come up with something. He goes, and then maybe like once a week, you could just shout, just do a video of doing nothing but shout outs. And I'm like, that's a good idea. And then one night I couldn't sleep, as most nights are, and I was just like, five on Friday. I could do 5 people on Friday. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, wait a minute, we're finding new people, so find 5 on Friday. We'll do Find 5 Friday. And I talked to Berg. I hit Berg up. He was at work. He goes, what are you doing up? It was like 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, Berg, I got it. He's like, what do you got? And I said, Find 5 on Friday. He's like, that's pretty damn smart. I'm like, I think that might work. He goes, that's slick. He said, I think you got it, old boy. And then I had him help me out with it. And of course now, Renacy Rios, Pipes and Music, has been so kind to give me music to use. And then of course, Pick and Piper wrote the actual song Ghost Cobb for my intro.
Right.
And so that was very humbling. And I almost feel like I didn't deserve that. And so I used it every week. But that's how Find 5 was born. And I will tell you that it's certainly not easy to find 5 people every week, but we somehow managed to do it, I guess.
Yeah, it's impressive. I mean, I've tried to do that just like maybe 2 once a week, and the truth is, most of the time, it's a spur of the moment where I say, okay, I can make a video now, and I'm halfway through the video and I think to myself, oh, gee, I forgot to look. And, it's a commitment to do that. And I appreciate that you do it, though, because, you've talked about some of the great things about this community, the way folks will help one another with things, will volunteer songs and things like that. And I just think it's so important to grow it and to keep it live and vibrant, and that's what you do through that series. So it's very much appreciated.
Well, I appreciate that. It's very kind of you. That is very, very kind of you to do that. And I always appreciate you being kind enough to say, watching it. I know Matches did that for me a lot as well, and that always meant so much to me coming from John. You know, he would always tease me and make me laugh and say, you know, so when am I going to be on that? You know, as a joke. And I'd be like, well, John, you know, I think your channel's beyond help. And he would, you know, he would chuckle and...
Yeah, he was probably the one person that did not need a shout out.
Oh, he was a hoot.
He was.
That guy was something else. But, you know, I love our community because I will tell you that I had a very hard time adapting to not working, to being on disability, and coming to face the reality of, you know, I need a walker to get around and that I need medication to keep me from being wheelchair bound, and it helps, you know, keep me busy. And a lot of the community members have always been there for me, and whether they know it or not, you know, the little things that they do most of the time fall when I need it the most. And it just means so much to me. You know, I've met so many great people through our community. Jared Wood, Carving Piper, you, Chad Yardism, Doug, the taco-eating Curmudgeon Piper, you know, just so many, Brendan, the Blue Line Pipe. I mean, there's more people than I can name, but it just seems like they know. It just seems like they know, or the Lord directs them when I need them the most, to call me or to, you know, I'll get a package in the mail, and it's like, wow. You know, it's so uplifting, and it makes you think about the small blessings in life. You know, that you shouldn't take things for granted, and that you have to, you know, it's easy to find the negative,
right?
But to be able to focus on the positive is the true enjoyment of life. And our community is so good at that. I mean, look at Old Pops. Old Pops is struggling right now. What do? They started GoFundMe, and they're over $2,000 already in raising money for them.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. You know, look what we did for Danny Shore. Yeah. You know, Danny Shore, a lot of the guys who are even in the community didn't even really get to know Danny, but yet they just pitched right in, and what can I do? And that's what makes our community so strong and such a great place to be.
Yes, and I think it really just speaks to the quality of pipe smokers in general. Tend to be really good people, but we've got some extra good ones in the YTPC.
Absolutely.
So, Sean, if it's okay with you, why don't we see if there's any questions out in the chat room for you?
Sure.
Okay.
Is there anybody even still around?
Oh yeah, we got 70 folks right now.
Wow.
Hanging on your every word.
Boy, oh boy, that's one. They must be really bored.
Well, I know they showed up for you and not for me, at least. So I'll wait for some questions to turn up, and I'll read them to you as they come in. So guys, if you have any questions for Sean, let me know. And while that's coming along, I'm going to switch over to this Stanikowski pipe, and I'm going to be smoking some Robert McConnell Highgate if I stop throwing things around the bench here. So let's see. Everett Young's asking, what is Sean's favorite pipe tobacco?
Ooh. That's a good question, Everett. First off, Everett, thank you very much for all of the continued support and encouragement that you've given me. You know, I always look forward to your comments on my videos and stuff. You're always very kind, and I appreciate that, Everett. I'd have to say my favorite tobaccos are probably a mixture of, I love Orla Golden Slice. I like something 515. I like that sweet, tangy Red Virginia. And I like Boswell's Dan's Blend and Boswell's Premium Burley. And of course, Carter Hall is one of my favorites as well.
Oh yeah, can't go wrong with Carter Hall. That's a pretty good list. Let's see. So Yardism is asking. He says he wants to know who told you that he was wise.
Well, that's not hard to figure out, Chad. Spending 5 or 10 minutes with you, and you are certainly a very wise and you're very educational. I always seem to learn something when I'm talking to you, and I am so bad with technology, Mike, that I was fumbling trying to figure something out, and Chad actually took the time to not just explain it, but he actually did a video, Mike, and helped me with a video so I could see him do it, so I could learn how to figure out this one thing.
Wow.
So, yeah,
That's
just another fine example of how awesome our community is.
Yeah, and one of the really great things is that, we all have the pipe in common, but we all also have our little areas of expertise, and that often comes to the front where, you got a problem and somebody can step in that really knows that area. So that's kind of neat, the diversity in the community. Hot Wings 326 is asking, how's Uncle Butter doing?
Well, John, he's doing okay. I just talked to him the other day. He's doing well. The kids are keeping him busy, and he's he's hoping that this COVID thing comes down a little bit so he can go visit his mom in the home, because he hasn't been able to see his mom since March because of all this craziness. But to answer your question, he's doing good. The kids are keeping him busy. That's for sure.
There you go. Cliff Higgins is asking if you're planning another trip to Panzerland.
Yes, we are. Christy was actually on the interweb yesterday or the day before looking at hotels because she fell in love with Lucerne. And we want to go back, and this time we want to visit for a little bit longer so we're not as rushed to see everything, because of course we tried to see Switzerland, Austria, and some of Germany. We were also going to try to fit France and Italy in, but there wasn't enough time in a week, and weather wasn't cooperating, so we got to see Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, and we're going to go back for 2 weeks next time, I think, but we're going to focus on just Switzerland. So, but yes, we are looking to go back.
Great.
Hopefully soon.
That sounds like it'll be a good time, and hopefully we'll see some videos from the trip.
Absolutely.
Paragon Piper is asking if you find that strong tobacco helps with the pain levels.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I don't think I actually smoke any really strong tobaccos. Nicotine really doesn't bother me. I honestly, I would say no. I don't think it does. I will say that just sitting down with a pipe and trying to enjoy it, or a cigar and enjoying it, and kind of, just letting the flavors take you somewhere, and thinking about different things, it does kind of make it go away. It doesn't make it go away completely, but it kind of gives you a little bit of a happy place for at least the duration of the pipe or the cigar. But that's a good question.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess something else to focus on probably is helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very interesting question. Kilted Piper Steve is asking if you have a favorite pipe.
Ooh. Yeah, that's a good question. The answer to that is yes. I have a couple of different pipes that are my favorites, and they're my favorites for a couple of different reasons. One, because they smoke fantastic, and two, because of where they come from. And I'll get into that for a second.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite pipes is my one Morta pot shape. It is the one with the black and white stem. I love that pipe, and that pipe means a lot to me because of the fact of Pops made it. It means a lot to me because Brendan, the Blue Line Pipe, sandblasted it for me, and the fact to know that that wood is 3,000 or 4,000 years old, to wonder what was going on in the world at the time of that tree still standing, always makes me wonder.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of my favorite pipes, and it smokes really, really well too, by the way.
Wow.
One of my other favorite pipes is my olive wood pot shape that Olive Wood Piper made me, because it's olive wood, because it's from the motherland, because of the fact that it just smokes so great. I just love that pipe, and that he made it means a lot to me as well. And another one of my favorite pipes is the Meerschaum that John Panzer had made for me. He had it hand carved for me. It's my big poker. And the other pipe that I really love is my Manfred Hortick that was gifted to me by a pipe shop owner in Switzerland when I was there.
Wow.
He gifted it to me, and just smoking that pipe with them, christening it, and just there's good memories tied with it. So, but yeah, those are my favorite pipes.
That's a nice set there, and yeah, isn't it amazing how much memory can be attached to something as simple as a pipe? I mean, really can bring back full experiences. It's wonderful.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
So here's one that I think you'll probably be able to answer without much difficulty. Jimmy Tabacki's asking, "How's Maisie doing? She's such a beautiful dog. Tell us how you got her and a little bit about her."
Well, she is sitting in her chair next to me right now, sleeping, because she has to be next to her daddy. She is doing well, Jimmy. Thank you very much. We got her in March 2 years ago, and her mom was a beagle, and her dad was a wiener dog, and her mom was at a kill shelter in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, when she was pregnant with her, and they didn't have room for her, so they were going to put her down pregnant because they didn't have room for her nor the puppies.
Wow.
So they were going to put her down, and they called a place on Trindle Road in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, called Molly's Place. It's a no-kill shelter, and they said that they could take her, but they would have to have a day to organize a volunteer to go get her. So on Christmas Day, they went and got Beatrice. That was her mom's name, and they brought Beatrice back to the shelter, got her put in a kennel, got her comfortable, got her fed, got her watered, got enough blankets with her, then left. Then they came back in the day after Christmas to feed her, to feed all the dogs, and there were 6 girls and 1 boy in the cage. So we don't technically know if she was born Christmas or the day after. So their birth certificates say the 26th because that was the day they were found.
Right.
So that's a little bit about Mace. Macy has a whole lot of allergies. She's got a lot of health issues, like her dad. She's allergic to all kinds of stuff. So she takes a pill every morning. I have to give her a pill to keep her from itching and stuff, and also to keep her from her fur from falling out. And we also make her food because she's got so many allergies. It's so hard to find a food that doesn't have chicken in it or fish in it or something like that. So what we do is we decided to make her food. So we buy frozen vegetables, broccoli, zucchini, squash, broccoli, cauliflower. We put peas in it. We put bananas, apples, pumpkin puree in it, kidney beans, cranberries, and we also put there's 1 roll of meat that you can get at the pet store, and it's strictly just a little bit of spinach, and it has beef and bison meat in it. And we use that as kind of like a binder. Mm-hmm. And we make that once a week for her, and then we'll put a little bit of bone broth in it, and we'll put it in little pint jars, and we refrigerate it. And she gets a jar in the morning and a jar at night. So a lot of work goes into her, but we're glad that we got her, and it's truly a blessing because I'll tell you, she has saved me way more than we saved her. She has kept my attitude more positive. She's just been great company for me, and truly a gift. So that is for sure.
Yeah, hey, amen to that. I mean, I've been a dog person my whole life, and they just give so much more than they ask for. It's amazing, especially the rescues.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, Jimmy, for asking that question. That was a great question, and Macy did look up when I started to answer the question, so she may have heard you.
That's funny. So we got two more, and then we'll tie up. First one, first one is from Curmudgeon Piper. He wants me to ask you if he needs to remind you to do find five on Friday this coming week. Been forgetting to do it up until this week.
I never caught so much grief in my life, Mike, in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, I know.
That taco truck chasing fool, he gave me all kinds of grief.
Yeah, well, you got.
Did you see this week's?
I haven't had a chance yet. No, Sean.
I did a special thing for Doug in the video. You'll have to watch it.
Okay. Yeah. We'll definitely have to see that. You need a break sometimes. It's tough. I understand. I mean, I get emails if I skip a Sunday, and they're kind. They're people that are concerned and all that. But it kind of feels sometimes like you've let someone down, and we know that's not the case. We just all have lives. Right.
Well, it was the anniversary of my mom's passing, and just had a lot going on, and I just thought I would take a little bit of a break, and then I enjoyed the week off so much, I thought, I'm going to take another week. And then I started to record down there. I recorded a couple reviews just to have so I can start posting them as well. and I just enjoyed the break so much. I was recharging my battery, like you said, and then I guess I just, it was time to come back. So
Sure. All right, last question. This one might be a difficult one for you to answer. It's from Everett Young. He wants to know what tobacco that you commented on in his Instagram post that you haven't tried. Did I make sense there? Because I'm changing the question a little bit. What tobacco did Sean comment on in one of my Instagram posts that he said he hasn't tried? If you don't know, we'll just move on.
I think it might have been the Amphora series.
So knowing Everett, it was probably the Amphora Kentucky.
That's what it was. Yep, that's what it was.
And I think that was just a way for Everett to get me to say Amphora Kentucky. Because for a while we were teasing that was the blend that should not be mentioned.
Oh, is that what that is?
All right, Sean. Well, we've gone quite a bit over, so I really appreciate you taking the time. It's been a lot of fun. Hope you've enjoyed it. And
I had a blast.
Great. And like I said at the beginning, I'm going to put links to your YouTube channel and your Instagram feed in the description of this video. So any folks that want to check you out that don't know will be able to follow those links. And please visit Sean. His YouTube channel is really one of the ones that I highly recommend people follow. So, Sean, with that, I hope you have a good evening and a nice weekend. And thanks again for joining us.
Mike, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Very humbled and honored to be a part of your show. I know you and I talked yesterday, and I really, truly love your channel. I love how educational you are with the way you do the restorations and stuff. You do such amazing work, and I'm going to try to talk you into making a stem for a Morgan nose warmer.
Yep.
For a corn cob, and I just love the stem that you gave me. It's on a pipe that Danny Shore gave me, so they both mean so much to me. And thank you so much for letting me be part of this, guys. Thank you for tuning in tonight to Mike. Mike is just such a great fella, and I really appreciate you guys. All the love and the support that I've received in this community, and thank you all so very much for everything. I do truly, truly appreciate you.
Well, that's fantastic, Sean. The feeling is mutual. I'm sure. All right. Well, you take care, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
Yep. Bye now.
Good night.
I hope you enjoyed that, guys. Like I said, Sean is really, if you don't know his YouTube channel, he's someone that you should check out. If for nothing else, the Find Five Friday series is really great because I find that I wind up watching videos that I just would not have known were even made. So it's great for that. I wish I had more time to watch videos like that, to be honest with you. Lately, I haven't been keeping up with the guys that I am subscribed to, let alone new guys. But we will get back to normal at some point. So how we doing here? Full Doddle's asking how the olive wood holds up to the heat from combustion. It's fine. It's not as fireproof as briar, but for the most point, it holds up quite well. And I have not had any issues with that pipe. I've had it for probably 1.5 years now, and I've not noticed any burnout or anything. Jeffrey Alton Carter, the Renaissance Piper. Have a good night, my friend. Oh, and Takio, you're leaving as well. Well, you have a good night, Takio. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping in, both of you guys. Yeah, Ron H., if you're interested in olive wood, please check out Olive Wood Piper. You can find him on Instagram or on YouTube. Does fantastic work with these pipes, and they're very reasonably priced. And I'm gonna set the phone so that I don't accidentally dial it again. Gettysburg and Ghost Cobb, what a combo. That's correct, Ed. That's correct. No, full dottle. I don't think Carl uses a bowl coating. I don't recall, at least, that this had a bowl coating. I could be wrong about that. But the bowl certainly is carbonized well, and yeah, it smokes fine. I mean, if you think about it, a corncob pipe is definitely not fireproof, and that can last for quite a long time. I have some that are 10 years old. This is, I think, one of the reasons Carl makes them more chunky, but with smaller bowls, is to allow for some of that burning to occur. But once the wall's carbonized, it should build cake like any other pipe, and it is a very solid wood. It's not, it's hard, so it's not going to like get dinged up or anything. Sometimes I find that some of the walnut, pear wood, those sorts of things, they're a bit softer, but this is a very solid wood. No, Jim, I'm going to try really hard not to call him, especially since he's on vacation now. So. Jimmy Tabacchi, I have found, no, I mean, the first smoke, there was probably a bit of a taste that you often get with a briar pipe as well, that was different from what you would get with a briar pipe. But there's no difference in the flavor, but there's something about burley and olive wood that just goes together well, in my experience. And it's great. I did not know that it was Olive Wood Piper's birthday today, so that's that's even better that we can hopefully drum up some business for him on his birthday. But I'm not plugging him for any reason other than I really enjoy this pipe, and the price is ridiculous for something that smokes this well. That's a good point, Chad. I don't know if the olive wood's making the burley better or if the burley's making the olive wood better. Tony's creating some weather in his in the indoors there. I hope you can't hear it, but I started running my air filter full time when I'm down here now, because I've been working down here every day, sort of using the workbench as an office for my day job. And the other day I went up to lunch, and then I came back down, and I could see this like cloud hanging across the middle of the room. Just, well, not the middle of the room this way, but like halfway up from the floor there was a cloud. And I thought, gee, I must have smoked more than I thought I did this morning. So I turned the air filter on just to help clear that, and I've just been running it all the time now. Oh yeah, white burley. Straight white burley is good stuff. Straight white burley and cube cut burley. Full dottle. I could be happy with just those two. Yeah, Everett, I saw the makeover there, and didn't get a chance to comment on it. I got a feeling you're going to break that rule pretty quickly. It was an inversion layer. That's right, XJ9. CaneRod candy. Tony, you make it sound like something illicit. Yeah, it's growing really nice. It's really taken off with all the rain we've had. Chad is the reason San Jose has smog some days. It's great that you're leaving your mark on San Jose, Chad. Oh, Ron, that's great. Wish your wife a happy birthday for all of us. Yeah, Paragon Piper Cube Cut Burley it does some really nice things when you blend it. It definitely does mellow things out. The other thing it does is it slows down the burn quite a bit, which can be really helpful for something like a hot burning Virginia. Jimmy Tabacchi is asking if I would rather work from home or work in the office. I just miss going out. I would much rather work in the office. And one thing that's interesting is that, so the place that I work at, it's actually a complex of buildings. And there are times when I have to go to a meeting and I have to leave my building about 15 to 20 minutes before the meeting starts because it takes me that long to walk. And I still have one of these Samsung watches that tracks your steps and all that. And I was making about 8,000 steps a day without trying, just going through my normal routine. It was always at least 6,000 and many times got up to 8,000. So there was a lot of walking involved, and I'm finding that's the most difficult thing for me. Even I'll go for a walk in the morning and it's about 1.25 miles, but it's still not enough exercise, and I'm gaining weight even though I'm eating less, and so trying to find the time to get more of that walking in and get more exercise has been a challenge. So yeah, that's one of the things that I kind of miss, that, and of course the people. There's only so much you can do by phone or WebEx or Zoom or whatever. I just like seeing the people and being able to talk to them one-on-one or in groups. Yeah, Big Dave, that's the important thing, I guess. I mean, I can smoke a pipe all day while I'm working, and I'm going to really miss that when I have to go back. That and my coffee's much better. Tony's asking, what's the yellow rectangular thing with the holes in it? Oh, that's actually a overly complicated miter box. It has pegs that you can put into those holes to brace whatever it is you're cutting up against the wall of the miter box. It doesn't work very well. It was cheap. I needed to put some molding in a long time ago, and I bought it. I think it came with a saw. It's really not a great tool. Yeah, that sugar barrel tub is pretty awesome, Big Dave. By the way, I got something that I wanted to mention to you guys. I've been contacted by someone, and I put this up on Instagram. All right, Kilted Piper Steve, you have a good night. Thanks for joining us. So someone contacted me. They have a tub of sugar barrel like that. It's a 12-ounce tub. They have opened it, and they have taken, they said, 3 bowls out of it. They don't like it, and they'd like to trade it. But they're being very specific. They want to trade it for 2 tins of Esoterica Pembroke. So if you happen to have 2 tins of Pembroke and you're interested in some sugar barrel, get in touch with me and I'll put you in touch with them, and you can make one another happy. Yeah, Voodoo, I think it is. I've actually got a couple of sort of offers, not exactly what my friend is looking for, and I've sent them to him, and I haven't yet heard back from him. So it may be that by the time he gets that email, it won't be up for grabs. But I'm just letting it out there. Big Dave, he said that he really wanted the Pembroke, so I'm guessing that's what he's going to hold out for unless nobody can come through with that. And there's already some folks that have like half the Pembroke and are willing to pay cash, or they've got bags of Pembroke or jars of Pembroke rather than tins. So I don't think he's going to sell it. No, Jimmy, haven't been doing any furniture projects lately. Just been too busy, really. Good night, Ed. Thanks for joining us tonight, Armchair Piper. You have a good weekend. One thing I want to do, Jimmy, is, and this is hardly a furniture project, but we had an old bird feeder that kind of fell apart, and I wanted to rebuild that and get it out there in time for the fall for the birds. Yeah, full dawdle. I actually I appreciate you saying that, but and this is just another indication of what a great community we've got here. Someone actually contacted me and said they had the Pembroke, but they didn't want the sugar barrel, but they would give the Pembroke to me so that I could get the sugar barrel for myself, which I really appreciated. But I figured I've had enough sugar barrel. I want somebody else to have the opportunity. Thank you, Chad. Thanks for being the moderator tonight, and you have a great weekend. Voodoo07, I'd be happy to send you a sample if you like. Andrew, thanks for joining us. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you, Casey Hooligan. You have a good one. Sugar barrel is, I guess it's technically an aromatic. It's one of these old style topped burleys. So if you consider Prince Albert or Carter Hall to be aromatics, then you would consider sugar barrel to be an aromatic. The flavoring to me is more of a natural, sort of a brown sugar flavor. Brown sugar, maybe molasses. JMZ 56, you have a good night. Is as mellow as Carter Hall? It's hard for me to say, Tony. I think so, yeah. But I don't know, they're very different. They're very different in a lot of ways, but they are both fairly mellow blends. Stephen Skip, you're just a little late. That's okay. We still got a minute to go. Yeah, that's true, Big Dave. But of course, that's true of most blends. I haven't found anything close, WKR Piper, although there are guys that say the sugar barrel match is very good. But I'm very sensitive to the chemical flavorings that they put on a lot of aromatics, and unfortunately, the sugar barrel match is one that I can't smoke because all I get is that chemical taste. Other people love it, so I think that might just be me. So I don't want to say yes or no to that. So we're gonna tie up pretty soon. Next week we'll be doing the solo live stream, and the following week we've got Eddie Gray from the Pipe Nook, who's going to be joining us for a conversation. So I've been looking forward to that. Eddie's a good guy, you all know him, and I'm sure we'll have a lot of fun getting to know him a bit better. Good night, Everett. Have a great weekend, buddy. Yeah, Ron, that's been my experience. There are some good ones, but they're never quite the same. And, you know, that's just life. You got it, Big Dave. You have a good weekend, too. Yeah, Eddie's going to be great. Really looking forward to that. Good night, Paragon Piper. Thanks much, buddy. Thanks, WKR Piper. So I'll tell you something that you may or may not be wanting to look forward to in the coming weeks. I've been playing with a different camera, a different streaming software. It's complicated, but basically I want to try to get to the point where I can show some other things while I'm talking to you. You know, like if there's a picture, I can put it up. If somebody wants to come on through Skype, I can have them actually appear in the video, but doing that all through the live stream. And it's not impossible to do, but it's been a bit challenging. Not the software side of it, but actually the hardware side has been a pain. But I'm getting that worked out, and I think what I might do, probably not this coming week, but maybe after that, I might start doing my Wednesday rambles that I've been doing. I might do those as live videos just to test out some of the stuff. It may go horribly wrong, but keep an eye out for that. It probably won't get announced ahead of time. It'll just pop up, and if it's just me talking to myself, that's fine. It'll still get archived as a video that you can watch later. But if I can get some of that stuff working, I think I could use it for these shows and make them a bit more enjoyable. Like, one thing I'd really like to do is have something playing before I start the show, because a lot of people show up early and give you something to do. But also that'll allow me to make sure that everything's working before I switch over. Because right now I have to start it and sort of sit here and wonder, can they hear me yet? And it's just, it works, but it could be more professional. I don't know if I'd go that far, Jim. I don't want to go big time. It sounds like a lot of work. I could call the show technical difficulties. There you go, Scotty. That's okay, Steph and Skip. I appreciate you guys showing up anytime. But please do watch the replay. Ghost Cobb was great. Well, folks, I've drained the spruce ale, which was really quite awful because it was frozen. Don't freeze your beers. And I'm getting to the bottom of this bowl, so I'm gonna call this a wrap. Thanks all for joining me. I'll hopefully get a video out this Sunday, so I look forward to seeing you then. And next week, like I said, we'll have the solo stream. I'm sure we'll have some fun there. I'm going to try to come up with something entertaining that I can talk to you guys about. And if I can't, you guys will come up with something entertaining to talk about. So have a great weekend. Enjoy the week after that. And I'll see you all next time. Thanks.